This is Puka Nacua. He is a receiver for the Rams, and he's taking the NFL by storm. As, yes, the season is still young, it's only been going for a few weeks. The Rams have only played 3 games. But through 3 games, Puka Nacua is top 5 in receptions, receiving yards per game, and yards from scrimmage. And he's top 10 for all-purpose yards. This is a rise that not many people saw coming before the season, and now he's one of the most popular receivers for fantasy football, and is someone to keep an eye on as he seems to be a go-to target for the LA Rams very early on. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Puka Nacua's football story. Before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. To start this video off, I'm going to be taking it to Orem, Utah at Orem High School, where Puka Nacua was a star on the gridiron. In his 4-year high school football career, he amassed 261 career receptions for 5,270 yards through the air and a total of 57 touchdowns. In his last 2 seasons of high school football, he amassed over 1,000 receiving yards in each season and over 20-plus receiving touchdowns in both of the years for his junior and senior campaigns. In his senior campaign in 2018, he had by far his best year of his high school career. 103 receptions for 2,336 yards and 26 receiving touchdowns through the air. Not only that, he was named the Gatorade Football Player of the Year. Of course, that wouldn't be the only accolades that he garnered during his senior campaign, as he was named the 2018 Polynesian Bowl Player of the Year and won the 2019 All-American Bowl Offensive Player of the Year as well. Coming out of high school in the 2019 recruiting class, he was seen as one of the best players in the class. Ranked as a composite 4-star by 24/7 Sports, the number 22 receiver in the class, the number 136 player nationally, and the number 1 player in the state of Utah. He was viewed as a prospect that had elite route running, ball skills, toughness, great hands, good speed. He was seen as someone that had very high upside and was going to be someone that had very high potential on the collegiate level. Some of the offers he had coming out of high school included Washington, Oregon, UCLA, USC, and Utah, just to name a few, and he would end up going to Washington out of high school. As a true freshman with Washington in the 2019 season, he appeared in 8 games where he would play sparingly, but he would also play very well when he had the opportunity while he was in, as he recorded 7 receptions for 168 yards, averaging an impressive 24 yards per reception, and had 2 touchdowns through the air. Going into his 2020 campaign, a very shortened season for the Pac-12 as Washington only played 4 games, but Puka Nacua had a much bigger role compared to his 2019 season. He would play in 3 games for the Huskies, where he was one of the bigger receivers on that roster, as he was second in receptions and receiving yards and receiving touchdowns that season, as he recorded 9 receptions in 3 games for 151 yards, averaging nearly 17 yards a reception and 1 touchdown through the air. However, this would be his last season as a Husky at Washington, as he would enter the portal after the conclusion of the 2020 campaign and go back to the state of Utah and end up at BYU. In his first year at BYU in 2021, now as a junior on the collegiate level, he would see his best year of his collegiate career up to that point in 2021, as he appeared in 12 games for Brigham Young, as he was second in receptions for the team at 43, led the team in receiving yards for 805 receiving yards, averaging 8.7 yards a reception, and had 6 touchdowns through the air. He also accounted for a total of 148 yards on the ground. In 2022, Nacua returned to BYU, where he would have a very impressive season as an all-round player, as he was used in the pass game and more in the run game in 2022 compared to 2021. He would only appear in 9 games compared to the 12 he played in the previous season, but he would record 48 receptions, a career high, 625 receiving yards through the air, averaging 13 yards a reception and 5 touchdowns in the air as well. However, on the ground, he got the most work on the ground he's ever had in his college career up to that point. He had 25 carries for 209 rushing yards, averaging over 8 yards a pop, and he had a total of 5 rushing touchdowns. So, all in all, he had a total of 834 all-purpose yards and a total of 10 touchdowns. He would declare his name for the 2023 NFL Draft after the conclusion of the 2022 college football season, ending his career with a stint at Washington and BYU for a couple years, in which he tallied 107 career receptions for 1,749 receiving yards, 14 touchdowns through the air, 357 yards on the ground, and 5 touchdowns on the ground of rushing. Going into the 2023 NFL Draft, Puka Nacua had a strong week performance at the Senior Bowl and had a solid NFL Combine as well. However, he was not on the highest priority list for all the receivers in the class, or really even all the players in the draft class in general. As according to NFL.com, his NFL draft profile, there is many mock drafts of Puka Nacua going into the 7th round. In fact, if you saw his prospect grade, he graded out as a 5.80, as being a projected average backup or a special teamer. From his combine score, his production score was up there for the receivers at number 12, but his athleticism score ranked at 47. So going in to the NFL Draft post-combine, Puka Nacua ranked as the number 37th player in the NFL Draft at the wide receiver position. While the many projections of him being a day 3 pick ended up being true, however, Puka Nacua would end up being a little bit of an earlier draft pick than expected, as he was taken in the 5th round by the LA Rams. Ever since Puka Nacua became a Ram, he has been impressing many people off-rip. As he was just a day 3 pick taken in the 5th round, he became a week 1 starter and has been a starter ever since. Not only that, but through the very young 2023 NFL season, he is one of the best receivers in the league up to this point. As in the 3 games that he has played and started in, he has 30 receptions for 338 yards, averaging 11 yards per reception, while catching 71% of the balls that is thrown his way. Not only that, he's also broken a couple records. He has the most receptions ever caught in a single game by a rookie at 15 for 147 yards in a loss versus the San Francisco 49ers. Not only that, the 25 catches over his first 2 games was another rookie record. And through the first 3 weeks, it seems like Puka Nacua is going to be a very promising player for not only this season, but seasons down the road. Obviously, he may not be able to keep the huge stretch of games that he's had success-wise going, like averaging 112 yards per game his entirety of his rookie campaign. However, signs are pointing in the right direction that the LA Rams got an absolute steal. And if I had to predict, it seems like a touchdown is going to be heading his way soon. Well guys, if you made this far in today's video, drop something down in the comment section below what videos you want to see in the future. And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. B. Kelly out.